What's up, guys? This is Big Ab's Big Blue Power Hour with my guest, Stacy. We're going to be talking your New York Football Giants tonight. Say hi, Stacy.
Hey guys,
So how you
how's
feel
everybody
about
doing?
we're good. Our first topic tonight is going to be the Bengals preseason game. Now, I'm just going to say from my point right now, I thought the offensive line looked a lot better. It looked a
Much.
lot better. A
He had
lot.
a pocket.
He had a pocket finally, and then we've seen what he can do with a pocket.
He did
And
look good.
that secondary wasn't their best people, but it showed that he can step up in the pocket. He has a better pocket awareness,
Mhm.
and the problem is what I'm having now is the receivers.
Injuries. Uh,
Well, now we're
well,
gonna go into that in a little bit, but receiving core. I'm not happy with the receiving core. A lot of drop passes, a lot of bad route running. I'm seeing.
yes, Slayton
What
had
about?
a couple,
Yeah,
but then again,
so you think
he in the joint practice with the Jets, he did have a one-handed catch, but
we'll get into the Jets scrimmage in a little bit. I do have that on here. But the thing is with Slayton is I see that a lot of people are like, "Oh, trade him, just get rid of him." You don't understand that his rookie year was his drops have always been a problem since Auburn. It's just a guy who he is, but he is a burner. Like he gets past any corner in the league if he goes on a streak route. So I do believe we need to keep him around for that because Galladay is running lazy routes. He's
Mhm.
not putting his heart into it. He got paid, and that's really what's pissing me off about him. Like I see him running routes, and then I see him just I see people doing these hard cuts and making these moves, and he's not doing it. He's
yeah,
not
he's
even
not
getting good balls.
right, not putting the effort in. And then you got the young guys trying to come up that are doing everything they can,
Yeah, and
like
the young guys,
Bachman. I, I
yeah,
like that. That kid looked good in the second half of the Bengals game.
he did. I liked David Sills. Sills is
Yeah,
doing very well. I think he's going to get a roster spot, especially with the injuries now. Um,
yeah. No Colin
he did,
Johnson out for the season, so
yeah, he was proving something too. He was actually Richie James, another surprise. He's playing very well, especially as a return man. I believe if you put him in a slot, kind of like what a Harris was, I believe he would be able to fill that role where we got a guy from the Cowboys. Just put him in a slot every 1 to 2 plays. When Slate needs a break, he can get you 10, 15 yards because
right. Get
he's
you a
not
first
out there
down.
a lot. Yeah,
Right.
and I think that he's very viable for that. Um, we did just lose Colin Johnson. I thought he was playing his butt off in the game
Yep.
against the Patriots. He really did play well. I don't see with these injuries to wide receivers, and it's not like, oh well, they're going down with hamstring injuries, they're going down with
No
this.
ACL.
It's all ACL tears, and
Yeah.
I'm reading through Twitter, people who are at the field at MetLife, at the practice facility, they walk the field, and they're like, this field's horrible. Like this turf is monstrous, horrible. Now I've said it before on here. I don't know if you've seen my previous podcast,
I
but
ain't
I've
gonna
seen
lie.
them. It's all right. I've said it before. The Giants since 2009 are the most injured team by way of players and timeout. Those are the parameters. They are the most injured team, and they have turf. Now, if you look at the turf setting in natural grass, most of the fields of turf have the most injuries. There's some natural fields that have it, like Baltimore.
Uh-huh.
Twitter says OBJ is welcoming a comeback to the Giants. I would love to have
Yeah.
OB. You know,
I saw that and I was like, please, please.
especially with the wide receiver core being, is he not what he was, but
I know he was a diva, but I mean,
he,
sometimes that's good. I mean, look at I can't believe I'm even gonna say this. Michael Irving, you know, he was a diva, but he was pretty good.
Michael
So
Irvin was a cokehead, but
that maybe that helped.
those, that Dallas Cowboys team was.
He's doing
But
bumps on the sideline.
yeah, well, LT smoked crack, so I can't really blame him. But we have with that preseason game I seen, Saquon is hungrier than ever. And I'm a
Yes.
big Penn State guy, so like I was a fan of his back at Penn State. When they drafted him or they called him in 2014. He was a 4-star running back coming out of PA. So I was a really big fan of his, and I'm still a big fan of his. He moves to a different team, I'll be a big fan of his, just like OBJ is. But with OBJ coming back, I think with rumors of him coming back, we don't have the cap space to match up with what LA is going to give him. But he's got a ring now. I think he would come back to the Giants. And think about it, Stafford's a good, he has a good relationship with the Mars. Stafford got him in his ring. Let's be honest, Eli was still the best quarterback he's had.
Yep.
Eli fed him the ball, and then he went to, Cleveland. Baker couldn't feed him the ball like, he could. And then he went to, Stafford is a better, but he was still fighting. Robert Woods is coming back. How much touches is he really going to get?
Exactly. And that was his problem in New York. He felt he wasn't getting enough touches.
But the thing is, if you look at Eli Manning in his later career, I said this before, he did not take shots down the field.
No.
He was very conservative. He took what the defense gave him, except when it came for Odell. He pushed the ball with Odell. Like that, the game against the Ravens. Dallas is going to struggle this year. Are the Giants that bad? I believe it's going to be the injury bug all over again. When we play Dallas, we're always competitive, and people forget that. We're always competitive until it's like if you looked at last year before 7 out of our 11 starters went out, it was only I think 17-10 or 13-17 or 13-10. It was a very close game going into half. Yep. And then all of a sudden the offense couldn't stay on the field. You lost our star running back, starting quarterback. Galladay wasn't playing that game. Kadarius Toney ended up going out. Shepard ended up going out. Like we had nobody out there. There was nobody. So like you have CJ Board out there, which I know he's about to get cut. We have Evan Stonehan Ingram.
He's gone already.
Yeah, I see the videos of him in Jacksonville. Like Trevor Lawrence just puts it right in his hands and he just boop, just drops it. I was like, that's what you just signed for a year. Have fun.
Right?
Think about it. If it wasn't for him, we would have had a playoff spot.
Right. He did have some good catches, but the bad outshined the good for sure.
When we needed the catch, he couldn't catch. Right, I don't care.
Exactly.
When we're down by 3 touchdowns, you make an amazing catch to get a first down.
Yeah.
That's not when we need it. We need it.
We needed that like 10 touchdowns ago.
Yeah, exactly. And what I'm excited for when I've seen this, this Bengals this preseason game and with the New England game, was that this team is moving the ball down the field, and when they get to the red zone, they're capitalizing on the red zone. They're trying to capitalize on going to the red zone. And for a team who hasn't scored over 25 points in, I think, over a year and a half or something like that, that's very good. They're trying to go get points and rack up points. No more winning games 17-13 or 21-14. No more. We're going to rack up points on you. We're going to make it 35-20. Like they want to rack up points, and that's what I love right now. The defense, it looked a lot better. Allen Robinson looked a lot more comfortable. Did he give up some yardage?
I like Wink.
Wink Martell.
I want to call him Martindale because that was again. Now I'm showing my age. Wink Martindale was some dude that did I think some. I don't even know what show it was, but that's what he reminds me of. But yes, I like him. He's a no nonsense type of guy. He reminds me a little of Bill Parcells.
I like his defense. His defense is, especially in Baltimore, his defense was top tier. And I like what he does with his cornerback blitzes. Something that Xavier McKinney would do big with. Another signing that I thought would be good to bring back, even though he left on bad terms, to fit that defense, Landon Collins. Landon Collins, he could not cover he couldn't cover anything. He couldn't cover anybody. Exactly. But he was good at when Spag came back, he was good at rushing the quarterback and getting those cornerback blitzes. And that's why I believe he fits in here. I think he would, get him on a 1-year contract.
Yeah, right, Paul.
Yeah, Paul, you already said it. You're about to suit up for your Cowboys. I'm about to go throw on a Giants jersey and report
Right.
to practice.
Hey, I got my Giant shirt on. I mean, just give me a jersey. I'll get out there. I'll direct traffic.
I know I'm only 6 foot, but I'm about 350. I can hold something up a little bit, at least for 3 seconds. But no, Evan Neal looked a lot better. I'm still big on Shane Lemieux. I think Shane Lemieux has him and Nick Gates are probably the hardest working offensive linemen to prove themselves. Now, who I want to add to that list, and I want to see him do better because now that he doesn't have to play right tackle, and when he comes back, he can play right guard. We're not going to get him till week 4 or 5. Is Matt Pert, and I believe Matt Pert would fit better coming out of UConn a couple years ago. I believe he would be better as a right guard because he has the size of a right tackle, but he doesn't have the mobility of a right tackle. So I think having him and Neal next to each other, Lemieux on the left guard with Andrew Thomas, that's 4 out of 5. I think that could be a starting caliber. Now the center, the problem with the center is I believe in Nick Gates. Nick Gates has shown he can play center, and he's been doing a really well job.
Yeah.
But he's we don't know when we're gonna get him back, especially after that leg surgery. I don't know when we're gonna get him back. But except the Bengals game. What else did you see in the Bengals game that you really were impressed with?
Really Bachman, and I mean, not for nothing. I think Davis Webb is a better fit than Tripod Taylor there.
No.
I don't know. I like the way he looked, and I don't know. I watched, Taylor in Buffalo, and he would have a good game, and then it would be
Buffalo's 6 years ago. You got to take him for what is most recent. Davis Webb.
You don't really see much of him though.
Yeah, but listen, he was playing great in LA before he got traded, before he got hurt. And that was because of a doctor stabbing him in his ribs and breaking his ribs, getting him a collapsed lung.
Yep, I remember that.
I think he was playing amazing in that game. But when Herbert comes in and is throwing 400 yards down the field, you're not going to give that up. You're like, all right, the kid's ready. Just put him in. And then he sits. And that's the thing is he's a journeyman. That's what he does. He moves from team to team to team. But Tyrod's not a bad quarterback. He'll win the games. And I said it before. Tyrod is a good quarterback. He's a solid, he's a Kirk Cousins or a Dak Prescott. He'll win your games as a team.
Or again, what's his name? Oh my God, Nick Foles.
Nick Foles can't win the games no more.
Not anymore. Hey, he did though.
His team also got hot. Momentum is a big thing going into football. His momentum going into and plus everybody writing them off. That team was pissed and ready to rumble. And I'll give it to the Eagles; they won. But right now, I thought in Chicago he was going to do great things. I really did. I thought with just him being a bomber down the field, he was going to do great things. He just didn't work out. But for me, is with Tyrod, with Davis Webb, how's Casey's injury going to affect the defense?
He's only supposed to be out 1 week.
Yeah, but Aziz has a hamstring pull too, so now we literally don't have any pass rush.
They're saying that one's not going to be. He shouldn't be out too long with that. They're basically saying we kind of lucked out with that one.
Yeah, I'm excited if Aziz can get his body healthy again, because you remember he finished 3rd in Defensive Rookie of the Year, only behind. He finished 3rd behind Surtain and Parsons. Last year, he had 7.5 sacks by himself. I think Micah only had 9.5, 10. Mm-hmm. He had a good amount of tackles. Surtain was just amazing in Denver. So it was Parsons, Surtain, and Ojulari. Mm-hmm. I was we have decent pieces. I think Gettleman drafted good pieces. I just think he didn't know how to use them.
Just didn't know how to put them together and make them work.
And
Judge didn't help.
Judge, I didn't like that year.
Initially when we first started, I thought, you know what, I was excited when we first. I was like, man, somebody under Bill or Bill Belichick, somebody kind of with his same type of mind frame, and
See, I was a big thing to go after. I wanted to go after Dougie P. And then he got fired.
Yep.
I wanted to go after Dougie P because you know why? Andy Reid's coaching tree is a lot better. Okay, Parsons had 13 sacks. I'm sorry, I correct myself.
Oh, of course, that guy would know.
Yeah, I thought it was 10. Or 11. I apologize. Hey, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But Belichick's coaching tree is horrible. Even though he comes from Parcells' coaching tree, the guy has 6 rings. He is horrible at coaching. His coaches do not do nothing. Andy Reid's coaching tree is amazing. Like I think like McDermott's from it. Rivera's from it. Like he's got a lot of people who are from his coaching tree. Dougie P. And they're all like contenders now. They're all competing with him. Right. And that's the good thing. I want to see somebody. Andy Reid's probably, I believe, one of the best coaches this league has seen in the last 20 years. Because every team he's went to, from the Eagles in the late 90s and 2000s
to KC,
he's only had 3 bad seasons.
Mm-hmm.
That's a winning.
Look, how many years in a row has Kansas City gone to the playoffs?
Yeah, with Alex Smith.
Yeah,
before Pat Mahomes,
Yeah,
and I believe that too. The Giants did not have that with Joe Judge was not the best option out there. Even though Matt Rule hasn't worked out, Mike McCarthy didn't work out, and Ron Rivera didn't come to us at all. He went straight to Washington. Mm-hmm. They were the 3 best options out there, and you got to interview one of them, and that was Matt Rule. Mike McCarthy went straight to the Cowboys, your rival. Ron Rivera went straight to Washington, your rival. So now you lost 2 of the best coaches out there. Even though Mike McCarthy has lost his edge, we didn't know that at the time.
No.
And he still does.
When he was with Green Bay, how many they get? One Super Bowl, 2?
1 Super Bowl.
And then how many playoff appearances?
Yeah, exactly. But Rodgers is mostly to fault for that, because
true.
The 1 year he got with Matt Flores in, his first year they went I think they didn't make the playoffs at all, and then the next year they came back and went 13-3. So Rodgers is the main point of that Green Bay. He leaves, they're going to be trash. I said the same thing with the Saints. I've been saying it for years. Being in Louisiana, I hate the Saints. The Saints fans are the most dilute. Besides Cowboys fans, Saints fans are bad. It is. And trust me, Cowboys fans down here in Louisiana are the stupidest fans I've ever met. And I'm not saying that for all
Cowgirl Town.
I watch because in the Arcotech area, it's because you live about 3 hours away from me. It's mostly Saints Cowboys. That's the big thing here. Mm-hmm. And where I'm at, I was watching Cowboys fans cheer the Eagles because they were playing the Saints in the playoffs. I was like, you're not a real fan. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Oh no, Saints are the biggest rival. I'm like, no, they're not. They're not even your division. I'm like, your division rivals are your biggest rivals. Yes. You have rivals like the Giants and 49ers. That's a big, rivalry. And then you have the Patriots, who now are like a pseudo rivalry with the Giants. Cowboys have, the Rams and 49ers because of old school, back in the day, stuff.
Right.
There's rivals with half the NFC East. But you have those teams that, you have rivalry outside of your division. But that doesn't take precedence over your division. Right. You don't want to say, I'm never going to cheer the Cowboys on in the Super Bowl. I'll never do it.
No, never.
It's never going to happen.
Never, ever.
I didn't want the Eagles to win, but I want to see my father happy, and I wanted to see him happy. And I was like, if they win, they win. I'm not going to root against them. I'm just going to watch the game. And that's all I did. I didn't cheer nobody. I don't like Brady either. I really don't. It was a lose-lose situation for me. One of them has to win.
Exactly.
They could have found a steroid case and canceled both the games, and no winner for the year, I'd have been happy. But
Like I'm Giants all day, Giants, and then anybody who's playing the Cowgirls, they're my favorite
yeah,
teams.
same here. I hate all that. Yeah, Joe, man,
Hey,
you'd be surprised. I was literally at the time I worked at Walmart. I was watching a game in the break room, and all the Saints fans were watching against the Eagles. It's when the Nick Foles came in, and he was doing his the Alshon Jeffries drop catch, and like there was half Cowboys fans in there too, and they were cheering the Eagles. I'm like, why are you cheering a division rival? Like all you are fake fans. Oh, you just don't understand. I said, I don't understand. I said, I come from Philadelphia. I said, no Philadelphian person would want or like wants a Cowboys fan rooting for their team. That's bad luck.
no, exactly.
That's a curse.
It is
But like,
bad luck.
with this Bengals game, I've seen a lot of young guys proving themselves, and that's what I like to see. But we're going to move on to our next one, which is that's a violation. Thank you. I 100% agree.
No, Paul.
No.
Everybody does not have Cowboys love deep down inside.
Listen,
More like hatred.
when I was about 11 years old, I took a bet on the Eagles game with my dad against the Giants. It just happened to be the Miracle in the Meadowlands too. That game. And I told him if I
Tyree?
No, that was
Tyree made that?
No, Deshaun Jackson when he ran it back in 2010.
Gotcha.
And we missed the playoffs because of it. I played that. I played a bet. I said I will wear an Eagles jersey to school. I was like, if your team wins, we're up 38-10. I'm like, yeah, what's up? My dad comes back. He's like, well, look at the score. I'm like, oh no. I was mad, but I went classic. I did.
Or Big Mike, sorry.
I had to wear a jersey, but I picked my dad's Jerome Brown jersey, and I went old school. I wore the white and the Kelly green. I hated it, but I've gotten him back a few times. He's had to wear a Giants hat and come back and thrown it at me and saying, "Take this shit before I, burn it." Yeah, no, I'm hoping 30. Me and Paul got a bet 30.
35 running touchdowns, Paul.
No, it's combined. 35 TDs total. Combined total. If he has 35 TDs total, Paul has to shave his head.
Oh.
So
you should make him wear Giant stuff for like a month straight.
I can't do that. I know the hurt of wearing an enemy jersey, man.
He's tried to bet me on game. I don't like to bet on game. I don't like to bet on things I can't control. And he tried to bet me on a game, and he's like, "Oh, you just got to wear the jersey." I'm like, "The fuck! I will not put that toilet paper anywhere near me." So
the funny thing is, my grandfather was a Dallas Cowboys fan, and when he passed away, he sent me. He gave me his. My father had bought him a white gold star with a blue sapphire Cowboys gem. And he gave it down to me, and I have it in a box. I don't ever put it on, but I keep it because it's my grandfather's.
Right.
But I have to. I can't. I'm like, but that's the thing is my dad's a Eagles fan. When I grew up, I just didn't want to be an Eagles or Cowboys fan. Coming off the 2007 year, I really didn't watch football like that. But when I started watching, I was like, I just picked the Giants. I just picked them, and I've stuck with them ever since. And I don't count the 2007 season. I watched the Super Bowl. I actually watched that one when I was a kid, but I wasn't watching as a fan. But the 11 one, I was a fan. I was already decked out in
about the 91?
No, the 2007 to 11. I'm 99. I'm young. I'm a youngin.
I remember exactly where I was for the 1991 game. I was actually in 29 Palms.
Oh,
California.
Nice.
Paul knows where that is.
Oh, that right. So
the Scott Norwood.
Wide right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just posted a picture in a group of it was a Norwood jersey, and it was like off to the side, his name.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go into our next topic here, which is the injuries and what it is with This turf. I said it before. I say it again. Since 2009, Giants are the most injured team in the league by far of injuries and timeout of the injuries. When you go by that parameter, Giants are number one team in injuries. I'm gonna go. I'll download the PDF and I'll show it here one day. Shout out, Tibbs is not a bust. God, you're lucky you got Carson Strong. I'm just saying. You'd rather shave his head. There weren't any other.
Exactly. That's why you got to make him wear the shit.
I wouldn't even make him wear a Giants jersey. I'd make him wear like a Commanders jersey. Ooh. I would like make him go out and get a Commanders jersey, like a Colt McCoy.
Oh, no,
like
that. He lives in Philly. Make him get an Eagles jersey.
Nah, he lives out in Pittsburgh now. He lives out in Johnstown. It's about 6 hours away from Philly, or like 4, or something like that. But with this injury, it's every year we hear ACL tear, ACL tear, ACL tear coming out of MetLife. And I've talked to people recently on Twitter about who's on the field. They're like, we see people just stop and they just go down. And I'm like, do you guys think it's the turf? They're like, it's absolutely the turf. They're like, the turf is horrible here. And I'm like, do you think, I think that it's time, like, after that, after the season, I think if our season's done by January 6th or January 5th, whatever, that last, week 17 game is, the day after, I want that whole fucking facility ripped up. I want that ground ripped up at MetLife, and I want natural grass. Like, natural grass it's showing that it's, more safe. It's more give. And that's what it is. It's like these guys are trying to plant their feet and stop.
And you can't because it stops you.
It's so hard. The ground's so hard. As soon as you put a little bit of pressure, it's snapping, ACL tendons, MCL tendons. It's pulling hamstrings when you're running because you're pushing off hard ground so hard. At least, when you wear cleats and you're running natural grass, the grass gives up a little bit. Like it will kick up. And when you fall, you fall on it. Trust me,
natural, yeah.
Yeah, I fall. Like, you hit the ground hard, but it's not just a straight flat field. There's little divots in natural grass, not big divots to make a difference to where like the Link has and tripping up Danny Dimes, but they have little divots in grass because of what cleats make, and that causes when you fall, it causes your body to naturally fall into it. It's not a hard concrete surface standing.
Right, because you're like with the turf, you stop instantly. Like there's no give. Like that's it. You're down.
He's popping ACLs like crazy, or pulling hamstrings like crazy because you're kicking off something hard so much. And I just believe that they had to redo that whole thing. I know grass is more expensive, but dude, you're you're worth $6 billion.
Right.
Like I know Tish is one of the, he's one of the lower end owners, and the Mars are like only worth about $1 billion. Put money into your product. Like, you're in the biggest market in the world.
Especially if it's going to save on injuries.
Exactly. Like you're paying these guys to sit at home and go to the gym.
Exactly. And instead you could be paying them to be on the field and win games.
Exactly, and put more money in your pocket. Like it's bad when like fans are like, "Oh, good, I get to watch this shitty team and get a free medium soda."
I saw that. It was like, what was it? Some like Pepsi promotion or some shit.
Yeah, I'm like, you couldn't even split for a fucking large. That's horrible.
A large soda and a freaking hot dog. Can't we get a hot dog here?
Like, and this is for season ticket owners. Ticket owners
that are getting thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, like I've been to the
here's a free soda.
Yeah, a free medium soda. Great. It's not even a collector's cup. It's a little foam cup. And that it pissed off Giants Nation. Was pissed, and I don't blame them.
Yeah.
But like this turf is it's hurting people. Like, we went from having an 8 wide receiver room to 5 now.
If that.
Exactly. Like, we have, I think Bachman's still good. I think he had a hamstring problem a little bit. Shep's still out. You have Galladay, he's a liability. Kadarius Toney, he's a little hurt at the moment. He's a little has hamstring problems, and Slayton, who has drops. So
Right.
I don't know who's going to catch the ball. And then we have
somebody's got to.
See, I'm already forgetting his name. The tight end we just drafted, Bellinger. Bellinger has he's having hamstring problems also.
Already?
It's the field. Like half the offense is out. You know, it's
apparently Jones is going to be throwing to himself.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. He's still. I don't know. Supposedly,
wasn't it his neck? Didn't he have something with his neck again in the right now, like in training?
They found a scar under his chin, and he had a neck procedure over the course, over the break over off season, but it wasn't injury. Most likely, I said on the previous podcast, I went over it. I said it most likely what I was reading up on, it was most likely a thyroid problem that he had to get fixed, and they go through the neck. But also, the procedure, if he actually did hurt his neck, would have to go through the front because your nerves are in the back of your neck. So they would have to go through your front of your neck, go through, move your stuff to the side and repair whatever they needed to repair. So I don't know if they're keeping quiet on his injury and the NFL knows, or I said it before, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But a lot of people, were saying, hey, I had a thyroid problem, and they went through my neck. So I was like, hey, it could just be a simple procedure. You never know. Right. But with the stadium, Dallas has a turf stadium also.
I stood on that shitty star.
Oh, God. Poor woman.
I wanted to poop on it, but I was at a work function, so it probably would have been frowned upon.
Last time I was in Dallas, I stood outside the American Airlines Arena, taking the train to the airport, and I was like, "You're so lucky this is not Dallas Stadium," because I would literally just drop one of my Giants hats right on it. I think Eli. It's funny.
He signed the locker room wall, and you know what? I'm so pissed at myself because I actually went on a tour of it, and I didn't fucking take a picture of that.
They still have it up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's in the visiting locker room. He signed the wall. It's up there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought they'd be spiteful and be like, "We're not having that here." Nope. You know how Jerry is.
Right.
Yeah, it was
he's a douche.
He's like first one at the new stadium. He tagged, I was like, yes, that's amazing. Forever and a day, your first win is a Giants win. That stadium is tainted from now on.
It actually, I will say, it is a nice stadium. It is.
It better be a nice stadium. It was $1 billion.
Oh my God! Just to park, it's like $50. It's ridiculous. We only will tailgate. I won't go in for the games, but we get a spot out in the lot and we tailgate. But even getting a spot is like $100 and something.
Yeah, it's
parking lot. Yeah.
There's rumors that the Giants want a new stadium. They're talking about putting a retractable dome on the MetLife or getting a new stadium.
We don't need a dome.
Yeah. And
like you said, weather. Weather's an element of the game.
Would
Lambeau Field ever get a retractable roof?
They don't have an owner, so no.
True.
I don't even think if it wasn't for the Packers' prestige, I don't think Packers would have stayed in Lambeau. I think they would have moved that team to Milwaukee by now. I don't Green Bay. Why? But they're a legendary team, so you got to have them.
Yep.
Them and the Bears will never move. The Bears and the Giants will never move. And I'll add Dallas to that list and the Eagles. I can see Washington moving to Norfolk. I can definitely see that. And just being the DC, whatever, Commanders, the Red Potatoes. I don't know. I don't care. Yeah. But let's look at now, to me, that Washington may take second place. For this year, I don't have a lot of hope for this year. I really don't. I'm going to watch my team. I'm going to support him. If they do good, hey.
Yeah.
But
even better.
This year, I don't think I'm thinking this. If Lamar Jackson does not sign an extension, his 5th year is up. For Ravens to keep him, he's going to have to be franchise tagged.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't want to play on their franchise tag and they want to get rid of him, that's a package deal that we could put together that we could.
Yeah.
Because I don't like any of the quarterbacks coming out this year, and by the end of the year, free agency, there's not a lot of quarterbacks that are good coming out in free agency either. So we're looking at 2 years of either stuck with Jones or stuck with Tyrod. So you might as well just bite the bullet and go pay for a big one. I didn't want Deshaun Watson.
I'm surprised they didn't try to get Russell.
They wanted too much. Like, you got to remember, Russell's been linked to the Giants for the last 2 years. And there was a rumor about, what was it? Seattle getting David Carr. We were supposed to get Russ. And they were supposed to Seattle was going to get 1 first-round pick from the Giants. And I think Denver was supposed to get 3 first-round picks. Or not Denver. Vegas at the time, Oakland, was supposed to get 3 first-round picks from Seattle for the compensation. Or it was where Seattle got 3 first-round picks, 1 from the Giants. It was weird. Like, it was a 3-way trade. And there was a reverse that we were supposed to get Derek Carr, and he was supposed to go to the Raiders. It was just all 3 teams were talking. I know Giants were giving up 1 or 2 draft picks to get them, and they were all first-round picks. So I think it was a couple first rounds and a third to get them. But at the time, like, we didn't have an offensive line at all. So, like, you wouldn't have had nobody to get. So that's the real problem with it. You wouldn't have had, an Andrew Thomas. You wouldn't have had Stoney, nobody.
Yeah.
So you just wouldn't have had nobody. I just think we need to get rid of Shep. That's what I don't like Shep no more. He's hurt all the time. And there's about 4 teams that would take him immediately right now with a 4th-round pick. Green Bay would take him in a heartbeat. Chicago would take him in a heartbeat. There's a few other teams I could probably squeeze him into, but they would take him. New England would probably take him in a heartbeat. Yeah, the Jets probably, because I think Denzel Mims wants out now. Him and Denzel Mims are kind of the same typical, wide receiver. But let's say this. Let's go to our next topic, which I believe is. I think what was my 3rd one? Yeah, possible needs and signings. Who do you think we need right now that can, besides OBJ? I know we won't put OBJ back, but who do you think else we could do to bolster up this defense or this offense?
I mean, honestly, who's out there? Like, what are our options? Do you scout somebody's, like they were saying with them watching the Jets, you're able to see these guys that are going to get cut. Like, is there anybody there that's even worth trying to pick up? Or do we just kind of try to go with what we got?
Give me 1 second. I'm pulling up right now defensive free agents for right now. Let's see. I know. Let me see. I know I've seen some cornerbacks lately. Sorry, give me 1 second. All right, so no, I'm sorry. Well, anyway, I was saying a good cornerback could be really, really needed. We need a good quarterback, at least a backup for that. A good corner, maybe a safety, a free safety. I was really happy with Dane Belton until he broke his collarbone. We'll get him back later in the year, and I was hoping, that he would, show. I was hoping that he would show a little bit of a speed that he showed at Iowa. He was a real hard hitting safety. reminded me a lot of like kind of like a Troy Polamalu. Like he just reads and gets that hit, and I really like that. He had a real good goal line right now. So right now the top free agents, Sheldon Richardson. That'd be a good defensive line to be able to pick up, and we could get him cheap. He is a little bit older, 31. Kenyon Drake. I said it. A good running back to back up Saquon.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely he's probably gonna go to the Eagles though, because I know.
What do you think about that Antonio Williams that we've got right now?
He was a good signing. He's playing the ball well, and I just wanted to see. Emmanuel Sanders is out there. I know he's 33, or 35. He's still got space left in him. Mm-hmm. I believe he could definitely.
Would Adrian Peterson play until he was almost freaking 40?
Yeah, Xavier Rhodes. That's another one. That's a good, at least a quarterback. It's viable for now. Like I know he hasn't played well. He's 32, but that's another. For our center problems, you got Matt Paradas. When he played on Carolina, he wasn't horrible, but he was solid for a little bit, and it gives you some like familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another one. Devontae Booker. I thought he played well with us last year. I wouldn't mind him being a backup again. And I thought him and Devontae Freeman were not bad. Another thing is AJ Bouye for a cornerback. He's another sign. That's what I was thinking of was AJ Bouye. I thought him in Carolina wasn't bad either. It's just the way it went down. I believe he could have played better. We got to remember, he lost his other cornerback, J.C. Horn, right off the bat, so he had to go from 2 to 1 immediately. So, do you have any of those possible signings? Or you want to reflect on what I said about,
Nope.
those?
I think you covered it all.
All right, we'll go to the next one right here, which is the Jets and Giants scrimmage. I heard great things. I was watching the O-line versus the D-line. I watched their D-line versus our O-line. Andrew Thomas did not get beat one time. I think it was Mosley. He beat Evan Neal once. I watched Dexter Lawrence absolutely demolish whoever their center is. Literally put him on his ass. And then the next play after that, Dexter Lawrence did get, pushed off to the side. So they kind of had a tie 1-1.
Right.
Sauce Gardner got put on skates by Kadarius Toney. I seen that. I was like, that's what I call him. Like he made Trayvon Diggs last year look bad, and Trayvon Diggs was like the biggest cornerback last year for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
For him to put him on skates and put everybody else on skates, I was happy. He's going to be. I wasn't happy with the Kadarius Toney pick. I understood it, but who I wanted to take Kwity Paye at that. I thought Kwity Paye would have been a solid pick, but I can understand why they did it now. Dude's a human joystick. He can stop on a dime and accelerate fast and get down the field. It's just he's got to get rid of that turf toe. He's got to get rid of that turf problem.
Well, get rid of the turf.
Yeah. So what did you see of the Giants scrimmage? I know you said you were watching it and you were getting into it.
Saquon looked good. He did. He was definitely explosive off the line. Like he looked good. Daniel Jones, he actually was making plays.
I heard he went 11 for 12 with like 2 touchdowns.
I honestly didn't. I didn't look that. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Well, no, I read it, but I watched parts of it too. I was just watching the stat line for it, and it was like, I have a couple people on the inside. It was like, Jets and Giants. Daniel Jones went 11 of 12 with 100 and something yards, 2 touchdowns in the red zone. Now, my concern is somebody who I wanted in this draft, and I was hoping. I know the Wan'Dale Robinson trade, the pick was. I wanted them to move up, and hopefully he would have fell to us. Jermaine Johnson the second. Watching him come off the edge with Evan Neal. Evan Neal did contain him well. They were going back and forth all practice. Jermaine Johnson's going to be a stud. But I got a feeling he's going to be what happened to Leonard Williams when he left the Jets to come to the Giants. I got a feeling he's going to leave in 2-3 years and one out.
Yep.
But he's going to be a defensive end to rue. Like you're going to hate playing against him because every play he's going to move you out the way. His arms are big and strong. He has the size. And I seen him come out of Florida State. I'm like, that's who I want. I'm like, if I can't get Kayvon Thibodeau, Sauce Gardner, he's my third defensive pick. Or if we move back in the draft and pick up another pick, I was happy to get Lindstrom, the center, if we moved back far enough. If we couldn't get one of the top 2 tackles. I wasn't sold on Kwanu like that. He's been struggling really bad with Carolina, especially with the pass blocking. He's okay in the run block, but he's not good in the pass block at all. He doesn't have lateral movement. I did not expect Evan Neal to fall to us that far. I did not think that he was going to fall. I was big on Charles Cross. Charles Cross is, as of right now, even though Evan Neal struggles, he's probably performing the best right now out of any of them. And who thought that? I knew he was going to.
Exactly.
But that's how it is sometimes. And then, somebody who Paul was looking into and I thought was going to be good and I was scared if he got him, Trevor Penning, he got picked up by the Saints. He's got kicked out of the Saints practice like the whole minicamp because he's starting fights. He plays too aggressive.
Wow.
And I was like, that would have been perfect for the Cowboys.
Right. But 2 starters. The punter.
I guess so. Yeah, I'm going to have to elaborate more on that, Paul. But the scrimmage, I think, is, they do it every year. They play each other. I think it's just more extra practice. Make sure you go easy. At least nobody's getting hit in the head with helmets. That's always a good sign.
What I was going to say. At least nobody was swinging a helmet at each other.
The thing is, I just found out the NFL cannot fine them for that. He can't get fined nothing because it's a joint practice. Whatever happens at joint practice is not enforceable by the NFL.
Come on.
I'm like Myles Garrett.
They can off season. You get in trouble in the off season. Oh well, the NFL is going to fine you, but you can't.
I think that's
a joint game.
That's horseshit. I know they're under contract, but there's no reason for them to not be able to do what they want to do. Not be able to do what they want to do. I don't know if they're going to show up starters. I haven't heard any word about who's starting up.
We've been starting our starters since the beginning of preseason play, though. Even if it was only for the first preseason game, Jones played.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to say, the Giants performed pretty well.
6 for 10 in the first game, so.
Yeah, like I said, they don't play their starters. That's fine, especially with the injuries now. Why do it? I'd play all third stringers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the game means nothing. But that's usually how it works. Like you gear up your guy. The beginning, it's your guys that your rookies, guys that are just starting on the team, who you want to keep, and then at the end, you usually put in your starters.
I'm a big fan of preseason. 2 preseason games and 2 bye weeks. Don't add another game. Add another bye week. These teams need another bye week. And it sucks because, I remember last year we had our bye week week 5 or something like that. Maybe not last year, the year before. One of those 2 years we had it week 5. You gotta go another, how many, 10, 11, 12 weeks?
Right.
Just straight. And then some of those weeks you have short weeks.
But then there's times that we didn't have our bye week until week 8 or week 9. And then it's well, what the fuck?
I think they should have a mandatory week between week 6 and 8, those 3 weeks. one team, like 3 or 4 of the teams take a break each one or whatever. And then the second half, like week 15, 16, and 17, there's a bye week in between there. That would help out a lot with injuries and getting these players rest. If you're going to up the season like you did, give them another day for rest.
Right.
We don't need to see preseason games. We really don't. We don't. It's a glorified scrimmage.
I'm gonna put the Cowgirls game on tonight, because
you're a better person than me. I'm not that desperate to watch football.
Yeah, it's sports. Yankees don't play until 8:40 tonight, so I gotta have something to laugh at until then.
I forgot you're an all New York team, right?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna like your baseball.
Oh, if you say Red Sox, I am quitting this show right the fuck now. I am out. Bye.
I grew up. I actually started watching baseball before I watched football, and I caught the 2004 comeback against the Yankees, and I fell in love with Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz, Dustin Pedroia, Kevin Youkilis. Love Big Papi. Oh man,
I have to say I do like Big Papi.
He's funny. Captain Clutch. He has to be one of the most clutch hitters. And another reason I didn't like one of my favorite players, and I'll admit this, is Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter is one of my favorite players.
Not like him.
I like Derek Jeter. I like the only Yankees jersey I ever owned. But only Yankees jersey I ever owned was a Derek Jeter jersey. I won it down the shore in Wildwood out of a cream machine. and it was a away jersey, the gray one. And I kept it for ever. But my first jersey, I had a Red Sox warm-up jersey. I'm a Phillies fan too. That's my NL team, But I like the Red Sox. I've always have. I remember that.
You're saying it wrong. It's Red Sox.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Guess who's sucking right now? The Red Sox are. FYI.
You got 3 rings in the
Orioles. The Orioles are doing better than the Red Sox.
Okay. You have literally a $600 million or $100 million, locker room.
True.
You guys do the luxury tax every year. And I like Giancarlo Stanton. I thought he was when he played for Miami, or Florida at the time. I love Giancarlo Stanton. Aaron
because of Jeter that we got him. We can
he did
Jeter for that.
He did a.
I like that. Thank you, Paul. Cowgirls already down 10-0.
It's a preseason game.
I know, but I love when they lose.
Tell me when Dak breaks his ankle, then I'll cheer.
Hey, I want to see he could do it again.
I want to see his ankle like this. I don't want to see him.
When he was wearing them slides on the field the other day, I was waiting for him to slip and fall and fucking break his ankle.
I just want him to do his cha-cha dance and slip. That's all I do. All right, we're gonna get into our final questions here. Just do a final thought. If anybody's got any questions for me and Stacy about our Giants, let's see them now. What are your final thoughts on the season?
Forever hold your peace.
Yeah. What's your final thoughts on the season?
We're going to the Super Bowl. Shit, I sound like a Cowgirls fan.
Damn it, we're cursed now. Or an Eagles fan.
No, I'm hoping to at least be over 500. Can we at least be over 500?
So you want a 9-8 season? I've seen it both ways.
Hey, 9-8 could win our division.
John,
yeah. Well, your thought doesn't count, Paul.
Yeah, you're a Cowboys fan. You've made bad decisions your whole life.
He's never lived here. That's what I don't get. How are you a Cowgirls fan, but you've never lived in Dallas? I don't get it. All right, somebody froze. Is it me? There you are.
All right, I'm sorry about that. My internet cut out for a second. I
Sorry.
apologize.
You were smiling, so it was all good.
Yeah. But bad do the Giants beat the do the Eagles beat the Giants here? I think yeah, you do beat us or we split. Because we haven't split with you for the last couple of years. We have split with you and we've done, all right job keeping up with you. So yeah, I think we could split with the with the Eagles. I think we could split with the Cowboys. I think we could split with all the teams. We were very competitive last year, very competitive with all the teams except for the second half of the season. We were really beat up. You can't win games with Mike Neck Lennon. It just says how it is. But
good God, that guy, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, I wish we would have kept Colt McCoy. But like I said, this is Big Blue Power Hour. Joining me with Stacey. Come see us next week. We got some shows on Out of the Box podcast that I do want to bring up. Coming from a Giants fan who moved to Dallas. I'll let you handle that one.
Yeah, I was just giving him the New York wave.
All right. Well, if you want out of the box shows that we have on our network here, if you want to come join us, Fight Club 215 every Tuesday at 10 p.m. talking boxing, anything combat sports, UFC. Come in, talk to them. Every other Wednesday at 10 a.m. the Bat Cave, all your Mets.
Go Yankees.
Both teams can burn. I care less. College Football Frenzy Wednesday at 8 p.m. We're talking all college sports, college football sports. Talk about your ranked teams, what matchups you want to see that week. And 9 o'clock, We Them Boys 215. I hate them, but hey, they're real Cowboys fans. They're real down to earth. When their team sucks, they at least admit it.
That's true.
My father, Big Mike's Big Mike's 4-4 Locker Room podcast, talking all Philly sports, Sixers, Eagles, Phillies. We don't talk about the Flyers until they fix their team. Every Friday, me and Stacey now, my new co-host. I'm glad she can join us today. Big Blue Power Hour every Friday, 8 o'clock. We come here, we talk your Giants sports. Saturday morning, I believe it's 8 a.m., Out of the Ring podcast, talking all wrestling, WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, anything. These guys talk about it all. Saturday night, Vegas podcast, Vegas sports. Anything to do with Vegas sports, including the rumors of Oakland A's or maybe moving there. Talking your, Golden Knights, talking your Raiders. These boys know it all, and I love watching their show. And for our sponsor, these guys are an awesome guy. Jay Fines Law, a.k.a. Big Al. For all your personal injury needs, call 1-800-HURT-123. He is located at 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120 in Philadelphia. All right. Stacey, you want to say anything to the fans? Want to say goodbye?
Peace out, guys. Have a good night.
Have a great night. Have a good night, guys. See you Friday.
Bye.